What's going on, everybody? How you doing? And welcome. My name is Lord PeteyTV, and today we are going to sit here and talk to you all about Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, what I want to talk to you all about is three very important things that I learned while playing this game, and then two things that were kind of awkward and kind of make it a little bit negative about the game itself. Now, let's go ahead and talk about these subjects. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the new wound system that has been implemented. It is probably one of the most enjoyable and fulfilling things that you can play and deal with in the game itself. What it ends up happening is after you end up creating a wound within the monster that you're fighting, you end up pretty much taking your weapon and putting it right into that wound, and then proceeding to use an ability that's going to either A, trigger them and knock them down, or B, going to end up doing lots and lots of damage to them. Now, both are very, very effective ways to do it, and both are very, very good for you to, continue to fight the monsters and help hurt these creatures. Now, the thing is that you really need to know when you're going to properly use each. They are very, very much, one is very much for like the quick damage, which I've ended up doing with the lower end monsters, which I end up pretty much doing like 4 or 5 quickly in a row. Or you can end up doing, a knockdown to allow your friends to help you DPS and hurt the monster. So you can use those pretty much wisely, and I really, really love it, and it's a really cool, addition to the game. Now, something that is kind of negative that I want to talk to you about is the little bit to do with the armor system. Now, you might be asking yourself, what do you mean about the armor system? Why is this confusing? Now, there's the rarity for each armor that you're proceeding to, craft, which isn't too bad to understand. The thing that I don't understand, that it took me a little bit to kind of figure out, is the negatives to that. So if you end up looking at, let's say, ice, you need to fight a monster that has ice damage. Now, you're going to want to make sure that you have positive on your ice defenses coming from the piece of armor you're picking up. Now, why I'm saying that might be a little confusing is because that some people will end up seeing negative ice damage, which could also mean that you are going to take less damage from those monsters. So that's how I saw it, and I could see how it could be a little confusing for people. So when you're ending up playing it and you're looking at it that way, make sure you realize the higher the number, the better you're going to be in place. Now, another really, really interesting thing about the game is the weapon swaps. Now, I don't recall if they're in the other versions of Monster Hunter, but this is the first time I've came to encounter it. Now, it works really well because when you're going in and you're fighting and you're going into like different SOS calls, you're going to want to have a couple of different weapons to play with. Now, I mostly play in SOS calls to help people out because that's what I enjoy doing. And the thing is that I want to be able to swap my weapons. So I don't exactly know what the people in the group are going to have. So I always usually have a sword and shield, but I'll go in there with, the axe or the sword or, hammer, or even the, what's it called? I keep thinking about calling it a flute, but it's not that. It's the big, gourd or whatever, that allows you to do AoE heals and things like that. So it's something that kind of really helps, and I think it really makes the game more fluid. Now, one of the other negatives that I kind of experienced is the multiplayer system. Now, in Monster Hunter Worlds, it was a problem from the launch, and it kind of got fixed. At least now in Monster Hunter Wilds, it actually works. So you can actually go in and do that. But I have to end up trying to get into 4, 5, 6 different groups until it actually connects and allows me to go into these groups. They really need to take the time to look at that and fix and see why that's happening. I also don't know if it's because these fights are just finishing, or the group fills up, or what the error might be, but it's just a little annoying, and it just takes a little bit longer than I wanted to actually do. Now, lastly, the last thing I want to talk about is the difficulty of the game. Now, the reason why I want to talk to you about the difficulty of the game itself is because I'm probably about 30 plus hours in, and I've really completed the first half of the game. And what I mean the first half of the game is, I let the first half of the game, you let your credits roll. It's more like an introduction to the game itself. You have a lot of monsters in it. You're playing, you're killing them. It's really enjoyable, very fluid. There's an increasing difficulty there, but it's not too bad. Now, the second half of the game, or what I like to call the end game or the back end, is that it has steeply increases in difficulty, so that when you have that increase in difficulty, you know, you're going to have a lot more problems fighting the monsters, and it's going to keep you more engaged. And I really, really like that. I really also like the entrance for it to being able to play. From someone that's coming from Monster Hunter Worlds, which was a lot harder, this actually brings people into a point where you can actually play it, enjoy it, and not have that much of an issue. So I think that's really, really something that I like to see, improve and more challenging. For instance, Monster Hunter Worlds had this crossover with the Final Fantasy XIV group, and that monster that you had to fight for the gear was very, very, very difficult. And I think that that was something to really show you and to show others how this game can really push forward and become a great thing for you to end up, seeing and going forward. So yes, as a game to pick up and play, I would definitely pick it up and play it if anyone is questioning that. So as always, my name is Lord PeteyTV. I am here on YouTube and Twitch every single Monday through Friday. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're ending up playing lots of different games like Monster Hunter, World of Warcraft, doing Mythic Plus keys. We've been playing Fellowship, Kingdom Come Deliverance. We've been playing a bunch of different things right now. So please make sure you stop in and say hello. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. I can't emphasize how much I appreciate that. Thank you all so much. See you all soon. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.